And I'm so glad you bring freedom of movement in, and your answer is a very complex answer. And the reason why I started off with this question is to kind of lay a base for the next question I'm going to ask. So there's this concept of media freedom, of freedom of expression, and freedom of the press and freedom of the media. So all of these three things is kind of interrelated. They speak to one another. So this is the question. Do you think there's supposed to be limitations on that freedom? Or is it supposed to be completely free to tell it in whatever way we would like to tell it?
Yeah, I think this is one of the topics of the day, and it's also not a straightforward answer. Should we have the right to free speech? Yes, but I think also free speech in relation to something, to someone. And I think at the end of the day, we're social beings. We live in a society. We don't live in a vacuum. We are not the centers of the universe. So I think this is a very important point to make. And I think you think about what it means to be in a society. And I think you should be able to say anything you want, but within limits. For example, I think libel or defamation, right? Those things have consequences. There's accountability. When you spread misinformation, that has an impact. So I think there needs to be a form of accountability in relation to free speech. The press should be held accountable, right? I mean, there are universal standards for the way you report on things, within set criteria. Because at the end of the day, when you have a platform and reaching millions of people, there needs to be a sense of accountability about what you can say. But that for me is not censorship, right? Those are two different things. Accountability does not equal censorship, which is something we also face. I think when you live under specific types of regimes, whether they're dictatorships, or an authoritarian regime, or a colonial regime that suppresses and censors people, where you're not allowed to express any opinion, especially opinions that are in opposition to that system, that's different. That's fundamentally different to me than operating within a society where there is the right to free speech, but there's accountability in relation to other people and in relation to that society.